What's up, YouTube? This is Isaac Cotto with the Kid Plot, and welcome back to another episode reaction video for Stop the Madness.
Yes, sir.
Numero dos.
Let's get it.
All right, let's check out this video. We see it's from the whatever podcast. Let's see what they got going on.
Getting married?
No, not on paper. No, absolutely not. I believe in love and marriage and better and protect her.
Justin, do you ever see yourself getting married?
No, not on paper. No, absolutely not. I believe in love and marriage and in regards to taking care of a woman fully and your responsibilities as a father and a provider and protector, 100%. In fact, I think that's probably what's broken about the world. But in regards to letting the state get into all my businesses that took me over a decade to build, absolutely not, no.
How do you think you're gonna get to the place of that marriage?
You want to run this video, but let me. If you're a highly educated, high value man, in that scenario, if you're going to get married, when you have businesses that you've taken years to create, you just get a prenup.
Right.
I don't understand what the issue, this whole point, oh no, I'm not gonna let the state get into my business. Anyway.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that. Yeah, I mean that's what prenup.
I mean, if you get married, right, you're highly successful. It would be the worst thing you can do is not get a prenup. Yeah. After years and years of all the hard work you put into creating your business, your brand, to get married and not get a prenup. So I don't understand where you're coming with that. But anyway.
Family and that lifelong love that you just
I didn't say I didn't have family or children. I just said I was running your business.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you want to keep it private is what you're saying.
That's what I said.
Justin has
enemies.
I
might have multiple family.
Oh.
You never know. I might like family more than you. So much I have 5.
Do you think that's a good thing to have multiple families?
I think it's good if there's one dad and there's not a bunch of step parents involved and the dad can be the hero and those 5 families live a 10x better life than they would have otherwise. Yes, ma'am, I do.
But you don't think that it will be ultimately an opportunity for jealousy or disharmony amongst
women are always going to be jealous. What's changed about that? Women have been jealous all the way through time. So
I'm not jealous in my marriage.
I don't care about your marriage. I'm talking about mine. What my life is going to be. So I don't answer to you. So that's my answer. I'm going to run my situation exactly how I want to. And generally, when I do that, that's when I have the most happiness, let's say, in my life. So that's all.
And you would want that for your daughters?
Yeah. I live my life unapologetically on my terms. So if my daughters that are overly spoiled and educated in every way and have friends all over the world and world traveled in the best schools in the world, if they have a problem with me at the end of the day, then they can kick rocks too. I'm not going to simp for my daughters. I'll love them fully. But if they grow up and turn into a person that doesn't want to get in line with me, or look, here's my goal as a parent: teach my children how the world works, give them the skills so they can live on their own terms, and give them choice. If they choose not to make me part of their life after I've given them those things, I've still succeeded as a father.
But I guess I'm asking if you're comfortable answering, obviously, but are you wanting to be a role model for your kids? Is that part of
1,000%. A father should show up in every way for his children. I think I'll be better than most fathers, regardless of how many children I have. I might have 100.
But you think part of being a role model, it's okay for your...
All right, real quick, do you agree with that statement, what he just said, as far as, you raise your kids, you do your best for them, and if they don't, for whatever reason, don't want to be a part of your life, you tell them, go ahead, kick rocks, and you live your life?
I mean, I don't have kids, so it's, it's tough.
But you've been a son.
But I have been a son, yeah. So, I think it's important that you have a good relationship with your parents or with your kids. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I kind of agree a little bit with him on that part where he says, if they make their own choice that they don't want to be a part of your life,
I agree with him 100%.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I said. On that point, that's what I said.
100%.
I don't agree with everything he's saying, but on that particular point, he did his job. And if they don't want to be a part of your life because they don't like whatever it is that you're doing, or they don't agree with you with your life, then that's fine. There's nothing you can
absolutely do. Go kick rocks. Yeah. Yes.
Kids not to know even your relationship status with their own mom.
They will know the relationship status with me and their mother.
But you have other relationships with other women too.
What does that have to do with anything?
But I'm just wondering if you think...
I haven't even said that. I'm just saying, if I want to, I will.
But you don't think that's a problem for your daughter to know that about their dad? That he has multiple mistresses?
That's up to my daughter, man.
But do you want your daughter to have a guy like that long term?
If he takes care of her in every way and she has a much better life because of it, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Wait, do you want to have 100 kids? So like low key.
I'm gonna have a bunch of kids. Yeah, I believe in having kids, man. So there's too many dumbass people having kids. Might as well have a smart person have some.
Dude, is Justin low key about to repopulate the world?
Kids are awesome.
Is Justin single-handedly reverse the declining birth rates?
They got all these single women out here talking shit about shit, man. Well, cool. I'll have babies with you. What's up? Now, part of it is being a smart ass right now, right? To be honest, but look, if a guy decides to have a bunch of children, I mean, you see it happen all the time. Guy gets married, he's a shitty father, shitty husband, ends up getting a divorce, and then goes has babies with the next chick, doing the same thing I'm doing, except I'm not a lying coward about it.
I hear you.
So,
I see that. I see that.
What it is.
But I think the big question is, I mean, it seems like you're really focused on self-improvement, which is awesome. And so I guess my question would be, is it ideal? Like, what are we striving towards individually, right? And what do we think is best for society? And I think kids want to know their parents love each other and are committed till death do they part to each other.
Yep, didn't say any of that wasn't true.
But
you're the one saying that's not true.
Okay, but do you think it would be a little bit confusing for one of your kids if they found out, let's say theoretically?
No, because if they trust me enough to come to me, I'll just tell them the truth. What are we talking about? I'm not hiding from anything. I just told you.
I understand that.
It seems like you're challenging it because you have a problem with it. I simply don't care.
So your kids, you're saying you don't care if they find out you have multiple mistresses?
If I had multiple women and then my kids came to me, then I would just talk to them like an adult. If they're adult enough to ask, I'm adult enough to tell them. Well, whatever they ask, I'm there for. You know, that's it. Find somebody else. I don't feel bad. I'm gonna live in truth. Here's the difference between me and most men. Most men are doing this shit behind people's back, right? Like a fucking coward. And they're not even giving the family the life that they deserve. So if I choose to do that in the future, which I have not said I'm gonna do, then so be it. But if I don't, I don't.
I hear you. I guess that you're saying you don't want to share your relationship status, but then you just said people are hiding it and being a coward. So I guess I think
there's a difference between not wanting to share one's relationship status publicly on a platform like this versus
when I have a big internet following and like offices that you can
bullshit. Bullshit. All right, Mr. Guru, I know how to treat women. Da, 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 da. But don't ask me about my relationships. I can't tell you. Secret. You don't know if she's whipping his ass at the house, right? But he says this, that, and the other. But he might be treating one lady as a queen, giving her whatever she wants, and he don't go nowhere. And he reports to her every day. You have no idea, because guess what? That part he keeps secret. But he's quick to tell you this is how you should live your life. When it comes to women.
So he's pretty much saying that, whoever he's with has to be okay with him having multiple women, and they have to accept that he might have, 5 different families. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what he said, right?
That's what he's saying, and he's saying I'm not going to tell you my situation, but that's what he preaches.
But he's saying that if he wanted to do that, then he would do it, and he would let his own kids know. Yeah, that's what's happening.
That part I disagree with, right? I think if you want to have a relationship, so I could just talk from my experience. Got divorced. My daughter was less than a year old. Got remarried. It's now 17 years later, and then I have a child with my second wife. I made the decision not to have children in the meantime because I did not want a scenario where I had a distant child, a relationship with a baby mama where I did not have access to the child the way I want. If you flip that around, it's like I'm an absentee. I'm rich and famous, traveling the world. You have zero relationship with that child. You have no connection with that. Yeah, making the baby is easy. But being a father and having the relationship with the kid, if you're treating mom like shit and mom is crying in her room and you're the cause of that sorrow, and you look at your kid's eyes and you're like, I don't give a shit. This is the way it is. Like, come on. Like,
I think the problem is that a lot of these podcasts that me and you have both watched, a lot of the ones that promote, hey, men are gonna cheat anyway. If you want a high value man, you better expect cheating, stuff like that, right? And he's pretty much saying along the lines of the same thing, that if I decide I want to have multiple wives or multiple girlfriends or have multiple families, then I'm gonna do it, right? And he's gonna be honest about it. I think the problem is that the way I look at it is, if you actually love the woman you're with, you should care about her feelings.
How she feels. Correct.
And a lot of times you hear from all these, a few other podcasts where they say, yo, fuck your feelings and all that stuff. okay, you could say that about maybe a stranger that you don't know, maybe somebody you don't really care about. But at the end of the day, if you care about, you know, your significant other or your girlfriend or somebody that you've been seeing for, you know, a decent amount of time, then you should care about their feelings. And if you know that cheating on her hurts her feelings, then you shouldn't do it. You see what I'm saying? Like,
and I think
you can't accept her. You can't expect her to accept it.
At the end of the day, I think that's why men lie, because they don't
want to hurt.
They
the feelings.
don't want to hurt the feelings.
But he's saying, not just him, but you know, other podcasts
Sure.
I've heard him say, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all need to just accept it. If you need to accept that a guy's gonna cheat. That doesn't mean he doesn't love you. That doesn't mean he don't want to be with you. Just accept it. That's what they've preached. Like a bunch of other podcasts have preached that. And he's pretty much insinuating the same thing by saying that I'll have multiple women.
You know, I thought about that. And, you know, if you really got with a woman that accepted that, like, hey, do whatever you want, it's okay. Is she really down for you? You know what I mean? Like, it's questionable.
She's down for the bag.
Unless you're about like an open relationship, swinger lifestyle. That's a different scenario. But I'm talking about someone who would accept it and truly have no hard feelings, jealousy.
But this is what a lot of these, you know, podcasts that preach high value men or you know, X, Y, and Z, they're pretty much saying it's open on my end, but it's closed on your end.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Right. So that's not an open relationship anymore. It's only open for you, right?
Right.
And that's where it goes back to what I just said, that at the end of the day, if you say you love your girl, you protect her, you provide for her, you give her all your resources, right? This is what someone that is a man, a leader, is doing. Then you should also care about your girlfriend or your wife's feelings. Right. And if her feelings are not important to you, then you don't love her.
As like one of these gurus.
And all kinds of things like that. I don't want that smoke for people in my life.
I see. Yeah. Can I ask you one more question?
Fire away, honey.
Okay. If you have only one place in your heart for one woman, or you want to have one woman in your heart, I think you said, why don't you just commit to one and choose to be faithful to her?
I'm just not wired that way. I spent my whole 20s trying to fix myself. Thought something was wrong with me.
You're a man of self-control. You work out, you do business.
Yeah.
You can possess your own power and direct it the way you want to direct it. It's just not how I am. It's not how I am. You think that might be a limited mindset?
I think it's none of your business, but I don't want you to think.
Oh, come on!
I saw somebody say that, and I think that's interesting.
That's a weak
answer. Annoying, but I'm not triggered. You know what I'm saying? No, you are. You're annoying in like this goody two shoes type way, and that's fine. I'm gonna live my life on my terms, unapologetically, like truly. So you can ask me this 85 different ways. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I'm gonna walk out of here the same man.
I have a question.
Let him roll.
Do you think marriage should be public?
What do you mean?
Do you think that when you commit your life to someone and you're going to build a family with them, do you think that should be done in community, so public?
I think that's up to the people that do it. I don't think there's a right way to do it at all. So that's up to you. So
you think, like, for children, they don't have the right to know whether or not their parents are married and be able to feel that when they go out into society?
Yeah, I think that if your kids ask, you should tell them the truth 100%. There's no lie or nothing I would ever keep from a child of mine.
Meaning the truth about, no, we're not married, I have other people I'm sleeping with.
Whatever they ask me, I would answer.
Negative.
I think as somebody that was raised by a single mom, like, those things, they don't matter as much to your child as you think that they may. I mean, it did have an effect on my relationships growing up, but it's also something, like, you can learn from that experience through your parents, you know? Like, you can, as long as you have open communication with your child. And I don't have any children, but I have younger siblings, and I'm openly communicative with all of my family members.
I think what's most important when it comes to kids is their love in the house. Do they see love between their parents? Mm-hmm. Not are they living the way of making people that go to church happy? Mm-hmm. It's a very downward deflecting question you're asking me, and I understand why you're doing it. However, I'll put love first in front of marriage every day of the week, because people get married in America every weekend, putting the marriage and the Facebook pictures before the actual love. So I'll take the love over all the bullshit.
I think that's probably true.
It's definitely true.
There's a lot of hypocrisy out there, for sure.
There's a lot of hypocrisy in Christianity as well.
Yeah.
Like Bible thumping people that want to beat you up with their views and ask silly questions about things that don't matter. Like, is your kid going to be upset that you have other women? All I'm worried about is being a good fucking father and a provider and giving them a life full of love. And if I can do that, I've been quite successful. In fact, I'd say more successful than most Christians.
So my understanding of love.
All right. I can't. I'm sorry. I've been an attorney for 10 years. I started out doing immigration law, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had thousands of clients, very poor or of low means, absolutely family that love each other, cry for each other, work for each other, do whatever it needs to be done to provide for the family, help each other out, kids working, everything. Like the whole concept of like, as long as I provide, then I'm a good father. Like that's a facet, that's a piece
of it.
But that does not make. There's a lot of rich motherfuckers that are shitty dads, right? Like, yeah, the kid has their money or whatever. Like, yeah, it's not either or. You know what I mean? I think it's a mix.
Fired.
My understanding of love is that it is totally wanting the best for the other person, and that it's committed, and that it's sacrificial, and that it's exclusive, it's faithful. And fidelity, I think, is a really important part of love. And if you don't have fidelity in love, then you don't have the security and the opportunity for full vulnerability.
Can I throw a hypothetical at you?
Yeah, please do.
Not necessarily. Not every.
And this is a hypothetical, please don't get offended. But if your husband were to do something that was not okay with you whatsoever, to the point where you did not any longer want to be with him, whether that's cheating or something else that's just a no for you, would you leave
She
them?
would stay.
Would you leave them to just please your children and to keep your family together? Is that like you're willing to risk your own happiness and well-being, or even safety, if it was something that was that extreme?
Are you talking about abuse?
I'm using a hypothetical.
Okay.
Whatever it is that would be like a straight, like, I need to leave this person. Would you stay with them just for the convenience and also the toxicity that it could bring into your household, inflicting your children, you know?
So my position is and it's the position of the Catholic Church as well, which is that if you're in a situation in a marriage that's abusive, right? It's causing harm to you or your children, then you definitely should create separation. You should leave. You can actually get a legal divorce if you need to separate your assets. But the position of the church and my belief is that marriage is forever, until death do us part. Mm-hmm. Until death do us part. So you can marry someone and they become a screwball. You know, they totally mess up. They do bad things, and you should separate yourself from them for your protection or your kids' protection. But you then don't go on and just remarry and try to live another life. Now, there's something in the case if you were lied to. So there's something called annulment, which some people say, oh, that's Catholic divorce. It's actually not. Annulment is when it's as if the marriage never happened because people were lying typically when they go into the marriage. So like typically abusers.
All right, so she's clearly a devout Catholic. Mm-hmm. And apparently
very much
Catholics do not believe in divorce no matter what.
Right.
That's not reality.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it just depends on your belief.
You know, you get married and sometimes it just doesn't work out. Divorce happens.
Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in divorce either.
Really?
I've been, I grew up in that religion, so I'm well aware it's the same thing.
Do you see them getting divorced, or they just do not get divorced?
I mean, you see it happen, but it's completely against the religion, like completely against it. The only time that they'll accept a divorce is if someone is being unfaithful or abusive or unfaithful, like you committed adultery.
Right.
That's the only time.
Yeah, I mean, look, I saw a video that said there's a couple that's been in an open relationship. They're in love, right? They do stuff. They're of knowledge, whatever they do outside the marriage, but they're in love for 25 years. And then you have someone from the church looking down at them, but that person's been divorced 3 times. Right? Mm-hmm. So, it's not everything fits every person. Sure. There's people that, bro, 30 years swinging and in love, and they, partners for life. And they went to Studio 54 in New York in the 70s and did everything. And now they're 70 years old, 2 viejos on the couch in love, and they're still together, right? And then you have people like raised in church and Bible thumpers, like you said, but been divorced 2 or 3 times. So, I think it doesn't fit everyone. Right. But more than anything, his comments regarding how to be a father, or how, if I treat your mom like shit, and I've cheated on her a bunch of times, you ask me, I'm gonna tell you, guess what? If I made that mistake, is not for us to talk about. When you're older, we'll have that conversation.
Exactly. And that's why I was letting you answer, because you're a dad.
Daddy made a mistake. I love mommy, but
there's certain things you can't discuss.
We're not. Yeah, that's not for the kid. Right. Sorry.
Exactly.
That's not for now. As an older adult, it's different. If you have adult children and get caught up in the scenario, that's a completely different conversation dealing with an adult. But as a minor child, and they have a question about why is mommy crying in the bed, like, hey, mommy's hurt, daddy made a mistake.
She's not feeling good.
That's it. You don't have to have any more conversation. But interesting take.
Yeah, man.
My boy Justin looked like he was getting heated.
Yeah, he looked a little triggered. She kept coming. She kept coming with questions. And she was not mad. She kept questioning.
And I think the delivery is what was pissing him off.
Yeah, because she was coming off very cynical.
Right, but like very okay, good point. But what about this? Do.
Yeah.
And it's like it doesn't matter.
But she does have a cynical delivery and a cynical face, so that kind of rubs people the wrong way.
But on these, credit to her, because on these podcasts, all you see is the dudes shitting on all the girls all the time. So.
Well, I like the Whatever podcast. They don't typically do that. They don't typically shit on women. They, especially the host. He's very respectful, and then he'll bring other people. For the most part, they're respectful. Some of them are not, but the host. Which I don't remember his name, but he's very respectful. So I like his style. That's why he does very well.
Well, that was a good 10-minute clip. My people, please like and subscribe. Let your comments, leave them down below.
Yes.
And we talk next week.
All right, yo, we out.
Peace.